Denver, Colorado, make some noise for Josh Johnson.
It's when you travel a lot, you know, there are things that happen that are sometimes simply unfair. You know, and I mean past the regular stuff, past a delayed flight or anything. Years ago, I had a flight to Boulder, and I was coming from Chicago, and I had a window seat. And the man next to me was eating a whole rotisserie chicken. And when I say whole rotisserie chicken, I want you to understand, you know when you go to the grocery store and you see with the bubble, it was that. This wasn't just some chicken, it was a whole chicken. And there's nothing like when you meet somebody and they start out nice and then they betray you, right? Because we had a very cordial conversation initially, a very I'm not crazy conversation, then he switched up on me, right? They say that not all heroes wear capes. And apparently not all terrorists have bombs, because the way it started is basically my man was in the middle seat, and you always have to be nice to the person in the middle seat, because if they're in the middle seat, their life is not going well right now, okay? Because this is the thing with the middle seat that people disregard. Whatever happened to you while you traveling also happened to them, right? Maybe you were delayed. Maybe your flight got canceled. Maybe you had to spend the night in the airport. All that happened to them too, and they're in the middle seat. So they're still having a worse day than you can imagine, right? And so I'm always nice to the person in the middle seat. So, you know, we both sit down and everything, and then we look at each other, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? I feel like I'm a pretty cordial person, very approachable and everything. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'd love to strike up a conversation and stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm great. And in retrospect, he was great because he knew what he was about to do. And then we just started chatting, right? He was like, why are you flying to Boulder? I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a show. Why are you flying to Boulder? He's like, oh, I'm going on business. I was like, he must love his business. Like, little did I know he was going to do the devil's business, right? And so we are barely diagonal. We're basically one wheel off the ground when he decides it's his time to shine, right? And so this man reaches under the seat. He kept it under the seat because he wanted people to think it was a carry-on, right? So he pulled this chicken from under the seat. I had no idea what it was because it was just in a bag, right? So he pulls this from under the seat, and he really pulled, because I guess it got stuck, so he really pulled it, right? And then he pulls up and he lifts it. And this man is bigger than me. And anytime somebody is bigger than me and making me nervous, I go through scenarios in my head of what could happen next, right? So then he pulls this bag up and he lifts the bag. Now the bag just, okay, the chicken was hot, right? So the chicken was hot, so there'd been some condensation around the actual shell of the rotisserie chicken. So the bag was clinging to the chicken, so I can't tell what it is. All I know is it's heavy and wet, right? So I look over at the bag, and it's got a little bit of steam coming out of it, and I'm like, that's why he was nice to everybody, because he got a bomb, right? And so then he grabs it from the bottom and starts peeling the bag off of the chicken, and I'm like, oh, okay. I wish it was a bomb. I think a bomb would have been easier for me to manage right now. This is actually going to be more upsetting than a bomb. I can already tell, right? And so this is my other thing, too. How did this man get this past TSA? Because There's an organization specifically designed to stop this sort of thing from happening. How did he get this on? Because they took my water. I can't have my water, but apparently he can have 12 ounces of chicken juice. So then he holding it up, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, even when we were just chatting and stuff like that, I thought he smelled like chicken when I met him. And I felt crazy, because I was like, who just smells this much like chicken? I've never been around anybody before who and when I say he smelled like chicken, he smelled like he was the chicken, right? Like he smelled like he had just danced out the oven just now, right? Like he had chicken cologne, right? And so then he's got the bag, and usually I'm a very like live and let live type person, right? Just let everybody do their thing as long as it's not harming anybody, right? And I don't like when things are like exclusion just for the sake of being exclusive, just for the sake of other people not being able to have it, right? Like we made this price so some people can't come. We made this price and what. But I will say, I do like, we need to keep planes plane prices, because when planes are bus prices, bus behavior comes to planes. Because when he revealed a whole rotisserie chicken out of this bag, I was like, what in the Greyhound megabus is happening right now? This is not behavior for the air, right? And so then he lays the chicken down on the tray table, and I've never seen this before, because I guess it was a big enough chicken that the tray table actually had some give to it. And I've taken naps on the tray table and haven't bent it back like that. That's an FAA unregulated amount of chicken. And I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I saw the chicken, as soon as I saw him put it on a tray table, I tried to dissociate right there. I was trying to go somewhere else. I was like, ooh, I was trying to be anywhere else but right here, because I even put on my noise canceling headphones and just tried to pick a movie and just not be a part of what was happening right now, right? But okay, I've got them on, right? I picked the movie, and I am trying to watch Moana, okay? But all I can hear is the sound of him eating chicken. Babies can't get in here. Like, and when I tell you, this is how you can tell it was like premeditated too, because this chicken was still very, very hot, which means he got it right before the flight. That means he went to Albertsons and got a full rotisserie chicken, then was like, well, I have a flight. I don't think that's what happened. I think actually he was on his way to the airport, and he was like, I'm making good time. I got that pre-check. Let me make a stop by Albertsons on the way, pick up a snack, right? And so this man does not have a fork, because a fork would have got him caught, right? He just has the chicken on the tray table, and he is eating it with his hands like he is Henry VIII. And we are at a royal banquet dinner where the queen just gave birth, right? He really ripping into the chicken while picking his movie, right? Just fingers, right? And so in my head, I'm like, what do I do? Because somehow this isn't illegal. See, that's a problem with our lawmakers, right? Our lawmakers write the laws after stuff happened. They're not thinking ahead to things that should never happen and writing a law for that. And likewise, with the airlines, they don't come up with the rules ahead of time. They wait for crazy stuff to happen, then they change the rules. But they should have sent it in your ticket, in your confirmation email for your ticket. They should have been like, hey, also, please don't bring any chicken from home, all right? We have all the chicken you need. The airport got you, okay? Because I don't remember this exactly, and maybe I'm not being fair, but I'm pretty sure the airport we were leaving from had a Popeyes. So he had access to chicken, but he wanted his own chicken, right? He was like, oh, they do it all apart and stuff. Let me get the whole thing. And so then I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so all right. I'm not proud of it. And I want to be clear, I didn't do this right away, right? Because even when he put out chicken, put it on the tray table, we are here. Like, he acted quickly. But by the time I did what I did, he had got down to the bone, okay? So he had a little bit of breast, a little bit of wing, a little bit of thigh. He had a good amount of his chicken. It looked like a crow had got to it by the time I did what I did, okay? But basically, I was like, I can't do this. I can hear it. I can't stop hearing it, right? And so I just pretended to fall asleep, right? Waited a little while. Even gave a couple, right? Because if you do the pig snores, people think it's a deep sleep, right? And so I pretended to sleep. And like, this is my thing. You probably experienced this. When you have somebody, maybe you're dating somebody and they sleep over for the first time and you see what type of sleeper they are, right? Because some people are like little squealers. Some people, some people are snorers, like, right? Some people are thrashers. I've been thrashed many times in my life. Actually, it is weird. You ever be sitting there laid up with your partner and then they thrash you and you're like, was weird that your fist was closed. Like, but anyway, I'm pretending to sleep, right? I even hit him with the right, and then just after a while, I wait a little longer, and then I'm like, bah! And then and I had to like open one eye a little bit to make sure I really got the chicken, right? Because I didn't want to miss, because you're gonna get another chance, right? Like, if you miss that first time, he start protecting the chicken and everything. So, you know, I opened my eye a little bit and I cleaned that chicken. Like, I Tiger Woods that chicken. So then the chicken flies off the tray table across the man in the aisle seat, right? I forgot to mention, there was someone else who witnessed this entire thing. I'm actually very interested in what his perspective was, because he didn't have headphones on, so he heard him eating the chicken in his ear. And I'm telling you right now, if it was bad for me, it was horrible for him, because the sound of a grown man eating a rotisserie chicken with his hands does sound exactly like a dog eating a person. It's just as horrific. The sound will never go away, right? I can hear it right now, right? And so then chicken shoots across him. It hits the tray table not the tray table, the armrest of the other aisle seat, and then it hits the ground, where I think it had some bounce to it because it still was mostly intact, so it was gonna move like a chicken would move, right? Now I gotta keep my eyes closed again because I'm supposed to be asleep for this, right? But I do hear a muffled scream through my headphones, and I don't know what it was, because once again my eyes are closed. So I don't know. This is what I think happened. We were, as a plane, we were making a little bit of a turn. We were at a little bit of an angle, right? So we weren't still ascending, but we were like dipped a little bit like this. So I think that the chicken hit in the aisle, rolled back a little bit, must have rolled into a new person's aisle, right? And And so then it rolled into their aisle and they looked down and all of a sudden they got their foot in a chicken, right? And that, because it wasn't a scream like, ah, it was a scream like, and that's... And that's, I mean, any one of us would do that. If you were just on a plane and you were minding your own business, all of a sudden your foot was in a chicken with the bones in it. Like, your foot is in it and it's not coming off. It's a shoe now, so it's not coming off, right? We'd all be like, And so then I hear him through my headphones. He's like, what the hell? Like, he screams, what the hell, right? And so then I gotta pretend to wake up. So I'm like, oh. Oh, what happened, right? He's like, dude, you knocked over my whole meal, right? He's like yelling. I'm like, oh no, did I? I'm sorry. Can I get you another one? He's like, no, that's the only one I had. I was like, oh, can I buy you something else? He's like, no, I don't want anything. Just watch the... He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. My bad. And then I did just have to sit next to that dude on the plane for the rest of the trip. I've never had anyone shoot me dirtier looks than this. He was just looking at me the rest of the flight like... I wish I had a bomb. We're really in it now, you know? We're really in it now. We have Kamala running, right? You want to know the wildest thing about Kamala running is I saw her first like 2 campaign events, right? And just to have somebody talking regular. Like truly just talking regular. I was like, she might as well have been breakdancing. The way she went up there and said thank you and was remembering names and stuff, she might as well have been hitting that. Like, yeah, it's wild. You know, because some people say that, you know, they don't see Kamala as president, but I see Kamala as president because I thought she already was president, right? And what I mean is, when Biden dropped out, I got a notification on my phone, and the notification on my phone was from a news outlet who worded the news very poorly in the headline, because I was at home and all I saw was Biden's gone, Kamala's in. And gone is you gotta use gone very carefully when you talk about Joe Biden. You can't just be out here saying gone willy-nilly, right? And so when they said gone, I was like, oh, that was the COVID he got. Like, he got the real one then. If he gone, oh no. And then I realized that he had actually stepped away. He had dropped out, and I was like, "Oh, thank goodness!" Because like this is the thing that now that he's out of the race, I do think it's very important to have an honest conversation about Joe Biden, about his presidency, right? Because this is the thing that people forget about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a granddaddy, okay? So For a president, he seemed slow. He seemed a bit weak and frail. For a granddaddy, he was killing it. All right? Like, really take a step back for a second and think about the granddad. Think about your granddaddy, right? What's on the agenda in a day for your granddaddy? Really be fair. Really be honest with yourself. What do you expect your granddaddy to do in a day? First thing on the docket is to wake up, hopefully. Second, have some jam. Tell some stories. Yeah, like... Watch some westerns, and then there's some naps to get got, right? You don't fly your granddaddy on 13-hour flights and then make him talk to a whole country and then be like, he doesn't seem up to the job. Like... Because Biden was busy just being a granddaddy. Everyone loves to forget that. We went to Biden as a granddaddy, and we were like, hey, we need you to run. And then he was like, are you sure? And we were like, yeah, we think you're the only one that can do it. Please run. And then he ran, and then he won. And then for 3.5 years, nobody did any homework. Nobody did any building up of any other candidates. Nobody did any real research into who was next up. So then, election time comes along. They're like, hey, we need you again. And he was like... I'm more granddaddy now than I was before. They were like, please, Joe, come on, Because that's one thing that I don't know. I look at it and I think that both we and history should remember Biden for doing an incredibly patriotic and courageous thing. That stepping aside is a big deal, right? And I want him, it's something that I hope he always knows that we appreciate. For better or for worse, we appreciate it because, some people wouldn't have done that. Some people would have let their ego get in the way. Some people, because this man told the world, he met with world leaders and told them, guys, I'm running, I'm going to win, it's going to be fine. And then he had to drop out, right? Dropped out on a Sunday in a tweet. On a Sunday with a tweet with COVID. And I'm not gonna lie, maybe I'm not being fair and that's okay, but I was furious at Biden when he got COVID. How dare you get COVID the same week Trump got shot at? Trump got shot at, blood and stuff, and then Biden over here, I was furious. But I really want us, and I think that it's something that I wish more leaders did because in a weird way, it did feel for a second like they actually listened. Because we had been saying, we were like, guys, I don't feel great. And then something happened. That almost never happens. This is America. And I think there's like this weird asterisk on his political career and on his legacy now, because then people are like, where does he go from here? He's still president for like 6 months, and we're already like, where does he go from here? Oh, that's so sad. I don't think it's sad at all. I think that Biden has a chance to stamp his legacy now. This dude is He's done. He said he's done. He's not coming back. He's not running for anything else. He's towards his twilight years and everything. Like this is it. So he has the chance to do what every politician ever promises that they're gonna do. You gotta remember, when people run for the first time, they're talking all that good stuff, right? When people run for the first time, I'm gonna do this, I don't care, I'm not taking anybody's money, I'm gonna do this, and then they get in and then they get got, right? Then all of a sudden they're talking like an assistant manager zombie. They're like, well, we have to really look at the votes. What'd they do to you? But Biden doesn't have that. He has to worry about a second term. He doesn't have to worry about next position. This dude could have the most radical presidency for the rest of the time that he's in office. He has months left to exact some of the craziest change you can imagine because he's never coming back. This is it. This is what people wish our politicians had, right? Because you don't know who somebody is until they put in their 2 weeks. When somebody put those 2 weeks in and they're still professional and you're like, oh, okay, they really a good worker, right? Most people put those 2 weeks in and they're like, 2 weeks, these nuts. Dude, Biden right now has the power to just go ahead and just drop executive orders like mixtapes. This dude could just straight up say, hey, everybody gets free lunch and come and kill me. Right? Free school lunch for kids. Everybody get maternity leave. How about that? You can fight me in court. I won't be there. You can fight me in court. Right? And then you look at, you look at Kamala and what her campaign's gonna be like and what the opposition against her is gonna be like. And it's already started in some sense, but you can tell that people don't really know how to attack her. Not exactly, right? Like they're gonna try the regular stuff, like the racist stuff and all this. She'll get some sexism. Don't worry, she'll get it. She'll get some sexism. But like really attacks, like things that make you go, ooh, I don't know about Kamala, right? They don't know. And you can tell they don't know, because okay. I saw this, one attack I saw against Kamala. This is wild. Okay, let me see. All right. No, I'm just looking around because I feel like, look, I think maybe only the black people will get it first, but I'm gonna bring everybody along, right? Because then basically there was an attack on Kamala where they were like, Kamala Harris's great-great-great-granddaddy was an Irish slave owner that went to London to oppose abolition. And then every black person I know was like, yeah. Sorta checks out. There's a reason it's her great-great-great-great-granddaddy and her great-great-great-great-grandma wasn't mentioned. And if you know, you know, right? That's what's so crazy to me is that I'm not saying Kamala's the perfect candidate at all. And I, she said herself she's gonna have to earn and win your vote and everything, and she plans to do that. But I will say the last time somebody had to go back to the 1800s to attack a candidate was maybe never. That's so crazy. Her great. Yeah. But then you should ask some more questions, like, why is that? And then, oh. You know what I mean? Because the only people that caught it are the people who really understand slavery. And that's the thing that's so crazy, is that Republicans are trying so hard to attack Kamala, they may accidentally teach Like, I thought you burned all the critical race theory books.
Hey everybody, we're at Helium Comedy Club in Portland, Oregon. Logan went and got a novelty soda for us to try. So we're gonna have some, see what it's like before I go up. Oh, okay. Went with red, that's...
Okay. Ooh, this blood. This blood. This was either blood or kidneys.
Or kidneys?
This stink.
Oh, wait, no, this does stink.
Bro, my ears ring.
Okay, you alright?
Make some noise for Josh Johnson!
I didn't know that we just wouldn't care anymore. I thought it's weird sometimes, as much news as I read and I watch, that sometimes there's a thing that you think just in your head. Maybe it's because of what matters to you. You're like, oh, this thing, this is going to be huge. You'll see a thing, whatever it is, and you'll be like, this is the thing that's going to wake people up or freak people out, or no one's going to be able to stop talking about it, right? Different for all of us. But then, I don't know if this is a universal experience, but I think it is. Eventually, you get disappointed. You realize, like, oh, wow, this isn't as big of a story as it should be. People don't care as much as they should. Like, everyone's moved on, even though the thing isn't resolved. That's wild. And I didn't know that we would just stop caring about the drones that are flying over Jersey. Like, that seems... Y'all, that seems like a big deal, and we just sort of let it go. Right? They still up there. Like, I guess they don't need batteries because they are still... It's wild. There are drones that were flying over Jersey, and they're loud. They're very high up, but they are so loud that people compare them to helicopters. And they've been flying over Jersey for a while now. And, you know, we all kind of thought, okay, they'll tell us what that is eventually. Someone will know. Someone has to know. Because at first people thought it was kids. And then when they said that the drones were like 6 feet wide, they were like, maybe they're rich kids. Maybe it's like... And then people... and then people started coming up with theories because it was so loud, it was so disruptive, it's over like residential areas, it was so random and everything that people asked the government. The government came out and they were like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The government has never said, don't worry about it. Y'all, the government said, don't worry about it in American history. The government, I would honestly tell you to watch at least like one White House press conference, one like hour of C-SPAN. The most asinine, insane, minute questions get asked of the press secretary. And I'm not saying they always have a legitimate answer, but they always at least try to answer the thing in some capacity, no matter how dumb it is. They never say, don't worry about it. That's never been the tact that the U.S. government has taken. Don't worry about it. We shot a balloon immediately. Remember that balloon that we couldn't tell because none of the pictures looked clear enough if it was a child's balloon or if it was actually a spy balloon? But we shot it, I think, with a missile and said, that was a spy. That looked like China. We've still never fully confirmed that, by the way. No one has come out. China hasn't been like, we did send that balloon. That's our bad. We were feeling festive. We were playing. It's never happened. That is crazy. Don't worry about it. There are brown people just alive in other places and the government's worried about it. Like that, don't worry about it. That's crazy. So then people started to come up with their own theories, you know? People started to be like, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a foreign entity. I think it's a foreign entity doing reconnaissance. They're spying on us. It could be China, could be anybody. They're using these drones to spy on us. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe China sent a drone as loud as a helicopter with lights on it to spy on Tony's house. Like maybe there is a foreign government that has the money and the resources to send so many, it's like a bunch of them, so many drones over that can just stay up in the air forever and can evade when people try to like shoot them down and everything. Maybe a government has all the money and technology to do that, but they don't have Google Earth. Maybe. And some people think that's very dumb. Some people think, oh, what an idiot. Who would think that? But you know what it's not dumber than? Don't worry about it. That's the dumbest thing a person could say. I want to make sure we all understand that. Don't worry about it. Y'all, I am so scared the government is out of money. Don't worry about it. It's the most broke parent thing to say. Yo, don't worry about it. When I was a kid, my dad drove, I think it was a 92 Corsica. And if you don't know what a Corsica is, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. But he drove this 92 Corsica, and the Corsica had a hole in the back on the floor. There was a hole. And one day I just went ahead and said something. I was like, hey, Dad, I know that you drive and I'm back here, so you up there a lot and I'm back here a lot, so you probably didn't know what was... I'm just letting you know what's going on back here because you always up there and I'm always back here. But there is a me-sized hole in the floor of the car. So just in case you ever pick me up and then you don't see me and you're like, I swear I just picked him up. Where is he? I probably went through the hole that's in the back of the car because there's a hole. I see the road and we are going fast. Like there's a lot. I thought we were going fast when I looked out the window. When you look through the hole, we're going light speed. Okay? So what are we gonna do about the me-sized hole in the back? And he was like, don't worry about it. And I was like, that's because we don't have resources. Okay. I had a babysitter one time that was making me some dinner, and I don't know. I'm assuming that the babysitter could only cook what we had in the pantry, and I don't know what the ingredients were, but then when I was served the dish. You ever had something where you're like, should this be on a plate or in a bowl? Because it has enough girth to stand on its own. But it's soupy enough to need some collection, to need some guidance as a dish on where to be, And so I asked my babysitter, I was like, what is this? And she was like, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, okay. This is a broke meal. That's what's been cooked for me right now, is something that only happens when you have ingredients that cost 23 cents and you put them all together to make a full $2.25 meal. The only thing that you did to cook it was add heat, but you didn't cook. It's all hot. Broke ingredients together on a plate that should be a bowl. Because there's a lot of water running off the side. But don't worry about it, all right? Okay. No. I remember one time my shoulder was popping a lot. It was like just and like I was like kind of a gangly kid to begin with. So like I don't know what I did, but it was just popping all the time. And I was like, "Hey, Dad, my shoulder is can you hear it? It's popping a lot. It's like popcorn. It's like it's going a lot. Like, does this ever happen to you?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "Should we go to like a doctor or something? Because like I just want to know, is it bad? It doesn't hurt, but it is popping a lot. It's moving. It doesn't want to be my shoulder anymore. Like it's moving all up in there while being kind of still, but like it's not pop. It doesn't hurt, but it's a lot of movement." And my dad was like, "Don't worry about it." And to this day, my shoulder pops quite a bit. So when the government tells you don't worry about it, it makes you worry about that specific thing. There are some people that think it's aliens. They think that is aliens that are trying to make contact and bolder than ever letting us know that they're here, that they're visiting. And okay. I don't think it's aliens because I just don't know if aliens I'm really not being disparaging when I say this. I'm just being honest. If you cross dimensions, I don't know if Jersey would be the first stop. And that's... And I know people from Jersey, and they will tell you if I cross dimensions, I'm probably hitting up, Cairo. I mean, I'm hitting up someplace that's a bit more exotic, But mostly I just hope it's not aliens. I hope that it's not aliens because we as humans, this isn't the time to visit us. Like this is, do you know what I mean? Like we're not putting our best foot forward as humanity to get visitors right now. Do you know what I mean? Like aliens coming to see us now would be the equivalent of me coming to see you at 4 a.m. It's like you're just not at your best. You like kind of have morning breath, but kind of not. Like it's bad. No, I don't think aliens would. If aliens are gonna come, they should have done it either 30 years ago or 100 years from now. I think that humanity is not. We're not good for visiting right now. You know what I mean? Like it mainly because we're the only species. Every other species of everything on the planet, every other species of animal is doing their best to evolve. They're trying to go in the direction that forwards the species that, do you know what I mean? That they will still be around. Hopefully, in spite of us, by the way, they're doing everything that they can to still be frogs. Frogs have the sense. There will be a frog off by itself doing something weird that the other frogs are like, don't go over there. Don't like that's. That's not gonna help. That's not helpful at all. And the frog will be doing something like jumping upside down or whatever, like just bouncing upside down over and over again. And the other frogs are like, don't mess with that. Because they know it doesn't help. They don't look at that frog and go, he just asking questions. Yeah, I mean, like he a free thinker. That's what that is. That's why he jumping upside down. Why y'all all jumping right side up like some sheep frogs? Why don't you start bouncing upside down for no reason? See if that doesn't do something to your mind. No, they're like that. That's not gonna be helpful. And let's all just kind of get that out of the gene pool as best as possible. No, we're not serious at all. It's painful. Genuine. And I'm not just talking about like Americans, by the way. Like we're so self-referential sometimes that it's like any critique of humanity sometimes sounds like I'm just critiquing the. I'm talking about people, all of us, planet Earth. All of us. We're not doing the things that would take to make a better world for us. You know, everywhere you go, it's happening. I don't know if you was seen it. It was in Peru. In Peru, there was a drug bust. There was a drug bust where the national police raided this drug house, and who knows if it was like a crack house or a drug warehouse or a kingpin's lair or whatever, but it's where the drugs were. And the head cop, top cop that's leading the charge, leading the raid, led the raid dressed as the Grinch. That's unfair to everybody in this situation, all right? That's not right. Imagine, you in there. You deal drugs, you cook drugs, whatever, but you putting the drugs in a little baggie. And then you hear a boom, boom. Somebody has knocked down your door. And you look up. And it's the Grinch. And you think to yourself, actually, you know what? Actually, I do have a sinus infection. No, I do have a sinus infection. I have a sinus infection, and I've been blowing my nose all day, and I've been like taking the Mucinex and everything, but like I have a sinus infection, and then, you know, my nose has been a little runny too, and then when it's runny, you don't want to gross out your coworkers and everything, and so you do a little, and I must have what we making, because that's the only way that it makes sense that the Grinch and the police are here together at the same time. I must have accidentally did what we doing in here to be seeing the Grinch and the police at the same time. Because he didn't just run up in there as the Grinch. This dude, he had the battering ram, and then he goes in. After they break that door, he goes in and then dropped the battering ram too. Unarmed, just came in character like the great. This man came in high knees, just. This man came in high kneeing like the Grinch. That's unfair to the police officers doing the raid, because imagine you about to raid this house, right? And you don't know what could be in there. If they got drugs in there, they might got money in there, and if they have money in there, then inside, they probably got some weapons in there to protect that money, protect those drugs from other gang members or just from the police, right? So you are about to risk your life going in. You fit it up. You have the AR-15 and everything. You getting ready to go. But then ahead of you, your leader is going in dressed like the Grinch. And then he battered the door down and run in. You gotta run after him and make sure not to accidentally shoot him while he over here high-kneeing in front of everybody, moving all crazy. Because they did everything like you would normally see in a raid, like get on the ground, everything. But then the Grinch. Sometimes people try to get in character, and I don't think they understand the character because I need to listen to it again, admittedly, but I swear he was making noises that the Grinch doesn't make. So then they were like, get on the ground, and then he was like, it's like that's not in there though. That's not in the movie. That's not in the book. What is that? That's not, you're not even speaking Spanish or anything, just it's like, in what work? Because you can tell, even as they getting arrested, they're like, but is he with y'all? Like, no, I'm getting on the ground, I'm asking though, he's just moving all weird in here. Like, what is that? I'm getting on the ground. I'm just saying. You know, you see a country like Peru. I don't know the drug laws. I don't know the sentences that crimes like that carry, but I can tell you honestly right now that they subjected those people to cruel and unusual punishment because they caught them, right? And then I think the three main ones, they made them take their mug shot with the Grinch. And it's like, what other reason could there be other than to ruin a person's life? To completely diminish all street credibility than to make them take a mug shot with the grit. They over here, and I'm sure they didn't answer any questions because if you can Google this, look at the picture later. You see them in the picture being like, like, why he over here? Like, the police never take a picture with us. It's three of them lined up holding. And then the Grinch over here taking pose. Looking all proud. Because it seems very dangerous to like go in there, batter and ram, and run up in there as the Grinch, but maybe it's not. Maybe he knew that if you run up in there as the Grinch, people so confused that they don't fire right away. They literally like. You see the Grinch, right? No, we're not a serious people. Not at all. No. It's okay. I've been very excited to come back to Portland because I came here in February for some shows. And normally, when you do comedy, you go places like once a year because usually when you go somewhere, the place you went to is like That's enough. We get it. We get what you do. Give us some time. But I was able to come back, so soon, and I love being here. I love doing shows here and everything. I love coming to Portland because y'all don't wait. You hit people at Portland as soon as they land. Like it's like. I landed in Portland, and my Uber driver to the hotel told me everything. It's the whole backstory. It was a lot. Okay, so top, right? So he basically was in a relationship, then married, and is now divorced from apparently the devil. And so then. So him and Satan, they still share a child, a cat, and a timeshare. And sharing all these three things with Lucifer has really made it difficult. It's made his life very hard. And I was listening to all of the woes of each thing, like the child, the cat, the timeshare, and I was like, oh, okay, well, if I'm being honest, you only really gotta love like two of those. You know what I mean? Like the timeshare. The whole point of a timeshare is that sometimes you're there and sometimes you're not. So just be there when the devil's not there, and then let the devil have it sometimes, because that was always what was gonna happen. The cat, look, I know you love the cat, and the cat loves you, and Satan's in the way. But I promise you, if you get a cat that look like that cat, it'll be like having that cat. I can almost guarantee. I'm not saying every cat is the same. I'm just saying that a lot of cats, when he described the cat to me, he was like, oh, she likes to cuddle sometimes, and she sleeps most of the day. And I was like, that's cat. If you can get one that looked just like her, you'll feel like she there. You don't even have to clone her. That is a cat, up and down. That's everything you just described is everything I've ever known a cat to do. So, little standoffish sometimes, likes to sleep a lot, climbs a little bit. Yep, you have a cat, sir. No need to share custody on this one. Just get an extra cat, and then that way, if you have two cats, actually, you know what y'all need to do? Y'all need to reverse parent trap this thing. You get a cat that look exactly like that cat, and you put them in a room together, and then you just shake the door a little bit, and then when you open the door, you each just grab a cat, and I guarantee you, it'll be like having that cat, right? And then it's like a Schrodinger's cat, because you won't know if the cat is the cat or if the cat is your cat. And you can just enjoy life with your cat that's yours in your head or not. Who knows? No one cares. The cat won't care. I guarantee you, the cat does not care. This whole custody battle over the cat, sometimes it's at your place, sometimes it's at hell with Satan. That whole thing is nothing to the cat. The cat is like, I'm a nap regardless, right? The child, yes, that is rough, to be fair. That is very rough. You share a child with someone that you can't stand, and if anything, I think that y'all should probably really figure out your differences, because you seem to have so much anger, and from the story that you're telling me, the devil also has a lot of burning fire, anger towards you, and I don't know. I mean, the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. If you really didn't care, you would know that you've fully fallen out of love with this person. But because you still have so much passion involved, you should really check in on that, because that's something that you got to be careful, because, what if in all that passion, maybe y'all rekindle a little bit because you care so much. And then what if you accidentally, just in a fit of passion, y'all make another kid? That would be like the cat thing, but worse, because the cat thing is a solution. Two kids with someone that you hate is a big problem. That's double the problem, right? And so then, I guess he wasn't really trying to hear what I was saying, but I only said any of that stuff because I was like, if you tell me your whole life, I thought that you would want some notes on what was going on. I didn't think that you would tell me your whole life and then just be expecting me to. You might as well talk to yourself when you're in the car alone. If you don't expect me to respond to any of it, so then I just laid it all out for him the way that I saw it, Go ahead and let the devil share your timeshare and everything. Go ahead and get another cat. Make sure you figure out the problem so that you can raise this child in a healthy environment. And I don't know if I rubbed him the wrong way or something, but he was like, hey, we've been here. You can get out at any point. And to be fair, we had been at my destination for 15 minutes. I was just sort of in the car chopping it up with him because honestly, we got to my hotel during the timeshare portion. So the cat and the kid was just, I was trying to get my thoughts out real quick, and he was like, yeah, but I do, this is my job, and I'm trying to leave, right? And I was like, all right, but I just thought that maybe it would be helpful, I thought it would help, to let you know. And hey, you a good person and everything. You clearly an open person. You told me everything, and you don't know me at all, and you don't know who I'll tell. And so the idea that you're so trusting is both a pro and a con of being in relationships, because it's you're trusting enough to pour out your heart to a total stranger, but also sometimes that trust can either be betrayed or misused, which is what it sounds like the devil did to you according to your story and everything. And he was like, I can get your suitcase for you if you need I have been absolutely obsessed. I don't know if you've heard, but there's been a viral Chase money glitch. Okay, if you haven't seen it, basically someone on TikTok said that there was a money glitch at Chase where if you deposit a check for a large amount, an amount you don't have, it will let you withdraw the full amount that you just made up, right? And that is just check fraud. That's actually the plainest fraud you can do. To walk up to an ATM and be like, I'd like to lie, please. That's not legal at all. And so I saw the TikTok and I was like, uh-oh, I hope nobody does this. I hope nobody does. I hope not a single person does this. I hope no one does it because it's the worst type of fraud you can do. I hope nobody does this at all. And then I went to Twitter and 6,000 people had done it. In the time that I saw it, there were already people who were like, yo, we out here living. And watching people you don't know commit fraud is like watching your uncle wear a suit he thinks he can pull off. You know what I mean? You're just like, no, not in front of everyone, not in front of everyone. Because that's what it was in front of everyone. They not only did the check fraud, but they all made videos, which is how I was watching. This wasn't a rumor. I was like, that's a high definition camera that you are committing crimes in right now. I am so, man, the jails will be full. This is That's a lot. Because, you know, they were playing with money that they didn't really have, and they were spending it on things they shouldn't have been spending it on. And so, you know I'm not the first person to say this. I'm late when it comes to saying this, but I need to say it just to reiterate one more time in case anybody doesn't understand why check fraud is a very, very bad idea. They went to Chase Bank, right? And then they wrote their name all over a check. And then they went to their bank, which was Chase Bank, with their name on that check, and then put that fake money into their account, which your bank account has every number that makes you identifiable. Like, your bank has your address. It has your social security number. It has the numbers of places you used to live. Like, they have so much information about you. Chase might as well just go to the police station and be like, we need to make a few printouts. And so people were doing the check fraud, but then this is the other thing. This is what happened. This is why people started doing it, right? Basically, the glitch, as people were calling it, some of it was just straight up check fraud because they will give you a portion of the check because they haven't verified the check yet, but it's law that they have to make a portion available immediately, right? And so there was a mistake for maybe, who knows, 10 minutes, an hour, where someone put in a check and it gave them the full amount immediately. It did not do that for most people. Most people got a portion. So when you see them throwing money, they definitely had to pick it up right after. Like, it's like... Don't let the internet lie to you. Like, they threw that money for the video, and then they were like, oh, God, whenever I see stuff like that, I always think to myself, like, y'all didn't factor in the wind at all. Like, you balling for these next 3 seconds, but as soon as there's a gust, you're gonna be running into traffic, screaming, no! And so basically, there was that side of the glitch. Another side of the glitch was that there were people who were also requesting loans, like pretty high loans. And the loans were also appearing, for some reason, appearing in their bank account in full, even though all the money wasn't available, right? So that part is a mistake on Chase's part on the website. But what's actually happening when they were withdrawing the money was just a little bit was coming out. That little bit was just a portion of a bigger amount, right? But then Chase caught on pretty quick because they posted it to the internet, right? Which is where Chase also is. If Chase was one of these mom and pop banks where mom worked the teller and dad was the personal banker, maybe they would have gotten away with it for quite a while. But because Chase is also on the internet, Chase saw the mistake they were supposedly making. They corrected it immediately. They put a 7-day hold on people's accounts that were affected by this activity, right? But then, because they never had the money and because they already withdrew some of the money, they were getting negative balances as high as $72,000, right? Which at negative red $72,000, I think I'm just gonna change my name. That's when you open your bank account and you go, whose bank account is this? I don't know him at all. I am moving. But this is why you shouldn't let the internet lie to you, not just because they give bad advice with no repercussions, but also because there were people that were faking it. There are people that were faking the glitch, literally just to go viral. There were people who were going to the ATM, withdrawing their real money, not doing the scam, then throwing the money in the air for the video, and then immediately being like, y'all, help me. There were even people who were pretending, using other people's screenshots, pretending that they also had like a negative $48,000 balance. And it was all just for attention. And it's so important to remember that. It's important to remember that like half of the internet is for attention. Like almost none of this is real. I could be AI. Like none of this is real. And so when you take things that are like fun on the internet and you bring them into the real world, you could screw up your entire life, because check fraud is so much a felony. Check fraud is one of those felonies that someone does that's like not even like a dangerous person. It's just like, you'll be like, man, where is Cousin Willie? I have not seen him at the last 3 Thanksgivings. And then your grandma go, okay, so Willie, he got into a little bit of trouble at Bank of America. It was a misunderstanding with a... Because grandmas always try to make you seem like less of a criminal. Like, grandma... You commit a crime and grandma be like, he had an accident. It was an accident. He is a sweet child. It was an accident because basically he got a little argument with one of his friends, and then he fell, because they were pushing each other. Then he fell on his friend, but he had just been holding a knife at the time. That's why we praying for him to get out, because I know his spirit. I know my baby, and my baby would never stab someone to death. My baby, how the police know he wasn't trying to get the knife out? You know what I mean? That's why it went in so many times, because it kept slipping in, and he kept pulling it out. Why didn't they ask why that man's body was magnetic? Why didn't they do that? My baby ain't no murderer. You do check fraud. Your grandma's like, that's not even his handwriting. But grandma, is his name at his bank put into his account? And they just came and got him. Yeah, but I don't know. When a grandma really has nothing for you, when you did it so hard, when you did it in front of her, that's when she's like, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, the one thing a grandma is not is a snitch. Grandmas... Okay. All right. So back in the day, so I grew up in Louisiana, right? And back in the day, we weren't friends, but I knew this kid, and he was like, this kid in my neighborhood was getting arrested, and it was a whole big scene because, like, basically, I don't know what he was getting arrested for, but the police thought that they needed 18 of them. Like, it was, I don't know what he did, but everybody showed up, if nothing else, just to watch. Like, that's... And that dude's grandma came outside screaming like, he didn't do it. Typical grandma. He didn't do it. And then she tried to fake a heart attack. I was like, damn, grandma a G right here. That's probably what G stands for if you go back all the way. She was like, don't take my baby, oh no, my heart. And you could tell she was faking it too, because she like really planned the fall. Like the fall, because she knew she couldn't just fall however she wanted to fall. She may never get up again. So she was in her little nightgown and everything. looking for a soft spot on the ground. Oh no, not my baby, my heart. I just can't stress it enough. Please do not do wire or check fraud. It's like, it's so easy to not do. We're all not doing it right now. And I don't want to, look, I'm not coming from some holier than thou place either. I understand crime. I understand why people do crime. Like, if you've ever been broke, you get crime. Crime makes so much sense if you're broke. I don't understand when rich people do crime because they already have things. Do you know what I mean? If you do crime as a rich person, you're really doing it for the love of the game. If you are a multi-millionaire and you embezzle hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're doing it for chips. Like, this isn't... You just felt like being bad or something, trying to spice up your life. A poor person doing a crime makes so much sense. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. That's a thing. I'd like to have it. Simple math, you know? I've been hungry. You hungry? Man, I wish I had something to eat. But on this planet, in this country, we trade money for things to eat. And I don't have any of that, so I guess I just won't eat. And then you don't eat for long enough that you're like, damn, the food is right there. You know what? Today's the day. I'm gonna do a crime. And then you grab an apple or something, and then, you know, grocer sees you, and you try to run, but you can't because you don't have any energy. So you get caught, and it's all very sad because you get charged with theft, but you took it because you were hungry. Like, crime when you're broke makes sense, you know? We don't like it, but it's true. It just does. And it's weird because it's like, Chase isn't... Chase... This is what bothers me about the whole thing. It was dumb of these people to do it, but to do it to Chase is like weirdly full circle. Chase got bailed out in 2008 for about $12 billion. And they needed those $12 billion because they were playing with money that wasn't theirs, and they were... They made the video, it just didn't go viral, you know what I mean? So it just, I don't know, there's a deep irony in that, like, you know, one of the major powerhouses, probably the biggest bank in the country that contributed to near financial collapse, is gonna go ahead and get theirs back from some of the people that they made poor. It's pretty harrowing, you know? But every single one, I don't care if you were a kid, if you were grown, there was a line, by the way. There was a line at the Chase ATM, so a lot of people were doing this at once. There was such a long line. Okay, I didn't know about the scam until late. I am late when it comes to everybody doing this. It's already over, and Chase has like settled it, and they're probably gonna go get their money back. But I was in line one of the days, and I don't look like I wouldn't do it. I'm standing in line like, come on now. Line's never been this long before. That guy's throwing money. That's irresponsible. No. It's just, you know, you should know. I don't care your age. I don't care if it was on the internet or if it was a rumor you heard in real life. You should know that you cannot just take money that's not yours as a poor person. If you want to steal millions of dollars, you need to already have millions of dollars. There is a Chase money glitch. It just only benefits Chase. You know, the only people who can just print money with absolutely no consequence are the Federal Reserve. Everyone else has to deal with it. That's a tough one. It really is. Because I think about how some people are like actually in real like felony trouble. I don't know what I would do if I committed a felony, but I was just joking. This is a terrible predicament to be in. Some of these people are like 20, you know? They're like, guys, I don't know, I just wrote too many zeros, my bad. The only one of these scams that I really thought was like funny and was really rooting for the people on was that DoorDash one. I don't know if you saw this, but basically there was this DoorDash scam that was essentially the same thing. It was kind of tied to a Cash App scam. There are a lot of scams if you pay attention. It is crazy how much we're doing them now, how much we're doing like wire and check fraud. Like we, as Americans, we have become the Nigerian princes of the world. Because I know Nigerians. I know Nigerians from Nigeria. And they are like, what is happening over there? Do you need us to send you something? Like, y'all are down bad as a people and as a country. This is hard to watch. But basically, there was like a DoorDash scam / Cash App scam where basically Cash App was letting you, it was basically letting you have a balance without pulling it from your bank. So then people were saying that they had enormous amounts of money, right? But then weren't able to pull it out. Like they weren't able to transfer this imaginary money to their bank. Thank God they weren't able to do wire fraud, but like they weren't able to send it. But what they could do is, as long as a full transaction was online and they linked it somewhere else, they could pay for things online with this fake money, right? And so what a lot of people would do was use their Cash App fake money to get stuff on DoorDash, which feels like the most fulfilling of the scams, because like, you can make me pay back money, but you can't take the burritos out of me. You know what I mean? Like when the police come, I'm gonna be full, all right? And when they put me in the car, that car's suspension will be in trouble. I had the opportunity not too long ago to really be a hero. Like, you know, you don't know when your hero moments are gonna come. They just show up, and then you act like the person you are in that moment. And I had the opportunity to be a hero, and I didn't take it. I looked that moment in the face. I was like, you must be looking at somebody else. I don't know what to tell you. This is bad. Basically, I was at a friend's house, and while I was there, some other people basically broke out into a fight. And like a real fight. We're not arguing. No one's talking anymore. Fists going and everything. And there was a moment where I could see a gap. I could see a pocket where I could have broke it up. And breaking up a fight is a very precarious position to put yourself in, because most fights that you want to break up, especially if it's two people, if it's three, it's gone too far, you know. You're not gonna be able to double dutch that one. You know what I mean? But two, you wait for a moment where they're like both tired or they're trying to wrestle or, you know, they're backing up to like get started to fight. You know that little back up hop step? This is usually, okay, when someone doesn't really know how to fight, they do too much prep for the fight, you know what I mean? Like there was, okay, I know I'm digressing to digress, but basically one time in high school, there were these two kids that were about to fight, and I didn't even bother trying to break it up because one kid stretched. And I was like, nobody that's really about to beat you down goes, oh, okay, you about to get it. You just give me a second. I'll be over there in a minute. You just. And so, said all that to say that, you know, there was this moment where they were backing up, and one of them, you could tell he couldn't really fight because his hop, when he was backing up to prep, looked weird, right? Because he didn't hop like, you know, like if somebody can really box or if they've got like some movement, some footwork, they have the little hop. This dude went, okay, then here it is then. This man wanted to fight so bad, but just had to step on 1,000 roaches first. Like, in what world is this getting you ready? You look like you've already been hitting your cerebellum when you move like that. But anyway, they get to fighting, right? And I could have jumped in, but I was like, you know what? No, because when you jump in to stop this fight, you need to be bigger than both people, right? The way you jump in and stop a fight, usually it's hand first, like you get the hand in there so that's the warning. Hey, stop swinging. Somebody else here. You might not hit him, you might hit me. Hey, right? And then you put your body in between the two of them. And the idea is that your body will be big enough that they're like, I want to punch, but there's too much to get around. And that isn't the case with me, you know what I mean? Like, I want to jump in and stop the fight, you know, like a principal, just like, hey now. Okay, so, all right. I did see, okay, so years ago when I was in high school, I went with a friend to pick another friend up because all three of us went to different high schools, right? And so he could drive first, so he picked me up after school, and then we went to pick up our other friend. Now, our other friend was waiting outside of the school, but a fight had also, a few feet away, had also broken out at the school, and the principal did this exact thing, like, hey now, and you could tell he doesn't want to get in there because the hey nows were too frequent. Like this man, hey now. But he stopped the fight because he was just being too big for both those boys to get at each other, right? And I don't have that. Like if I jump in, I will catch a stray. Like I'm gonna walk right into a fence. Brothers, please. And so then the fight breaks out, and the guy that I thought couldn't fight, it turns out he can fight if he keeps the fight weird, right? Because in fighting, in hand-to-hand combat, in battle, right? You use what you have. You use your hands, fists, elbows, knees, shins, foot,
everything that you can. If you wrestle them to the ground using your weight, using leverage, there's just lots of going on with your body when it comes to a fight. But what I've never seen, and I watch fighting. I watch combat sports. I like watching boxing. I like watching kickboxing. I've seen people who can kickbox in real life in like a street fight. I've seen people who can box in real life in a street fight. I've seen people use their knees, like Muay Thai moves, elbows, all that stuff. I've never seen somebody who just grabs. It is harrowing to watch. Because my man is over here trying to like fight, like he's fighting, right? And he's like punching and kneeing and kicking and everything like that. And the other dude, anytime he get close, he's just like, huh. So now this dude punching while also being hella uncomfortable. Like you can see where he's like, hey, when's this cross over into a different type of assault? Do you know what I mean? Because like because at one point the dude was trying to dodge a punch and then like grab, and I think he thought he was doing kung fu. Because, you know, you've seen the movies where they're like, ha, and then like just Black Panthering you up, you know what I mean? This dude at one point went to dodge a punch, but clearly, we could all see it, clearly grabbed the inner thigh of the dude he was fighting. And you see that dude miss with his punch, but also be like, and so they're fighting and they're fighting and they're fighting. And then there's one point where, you know, the dude who really knows how to fight pushed the grabber away. Because I think he just needed a break. Imagine you beating somebody's ass and they're still like, it's devastating. And so then I realized that I made the right decision, not because I didn't want to be grabbed, but also I knew I made the right decision because when they re-engaged, the dude who knew how to fight, okay. I shouldn't laugh, but all right. I knew I made the right decision when the dude that knew how to fight threw a microwave, right? And I think, okay, this is what I think happened in my mind, right? No one even saw him with a microwave. We didn't know where the microwave came from. You know what I mean? And I think we were distracted because when he pushed the grabber off, the grabber was ready. He was still like had energy, even though he had lumps all over him and everything. And he was just standing like. And I'm not even kidding. At one point, I guess when he thought the fight was about to kick back off, we were all looking at his hand and he went, like. And that must have been when old boy grabbed the microwave, because we were all like, it's weird. And there's a thing about when you're in hand-to-hand combat and you're losing, that's usually when someone reaches for a weapon, but the weapons normally make sense. I'm losing a fight. I'm in a home. I'm gonna grab something that's gonna give me a mechanical advantage, like a hammer or a knife, you know what I mean? Like, I love, one of my favorite things in the world, I've only seen it like twice ever, but one of my favorite things of all time is when somebody in a fight and they hit somebody with a book. Because it's literally poetic. When you hit someone when you hit someone with a book, it makes it feel like the book is in on the fight, right? Like if we're fighting and then I hit you with some James Baldwin, I'm giving you culture, right? I'm educating you. Somebody being dumb, you hit them with an encyclopedia. Read. You know? Somebody talking crazy, you hit them with a dictionary. You're literally giving them better words to use. But the thing about a microwave is that when it's coming at you in the air, it's all corners. When a microwave is hurtling towards your head, it's nothing but angles, all right? You would think it was a diamond, the way that it moves through the air. I guess I'd never seen one fly before, so I was like, wow, right? And so then, the best you can hope for, if you can't catch the microwave, if it's coming at you too fast and spinning too hard for you to dodge or stop it, is to just get hit with a flat surface, right? The best case scenario is that you get hit with a microwave that's coming at you door first, like a window. That feels like it has the most give to it. But that didn't happen at all. This dude threw the microwave at the grabber, and that dude got hit in the head with the popcorn button. And I've never seen a person shut off faster, right? Like, this dude caught a microwave in the head, and you just saw him go, like, I've never seen someone go limp that fast, right? We were all standing there like, I think he dead. Like, the only reason we knew he wasn't dead is that finally, after like 30 seconds, which 30 seconds when you think you're looking at a dead body is forever. That's... When you think that somehow you might go to jail too, you've been looking at that body all day. But he was clearly like down for 30 seconds, and then we just saw him be like, oh. He's fine.